Bethany Musyoka. The title of her speech, Extreme Sports. Extreme Sport, Bethany Musyoka. Bethany Musyoka, Extreme Sports.
According to a journal by Punchan 2004, an extreme sport is defined as a pursuit, mostly but not limited to the sporting field, characterized by high risk, high endurance, and high speeds. Other definitions, for example, in Frontiers of Psychology, Cohen 2016, do include injury and death as possible outcomes of extreme sports. Examples of extreme sports include mountain climbing, base jumping, that is jumping out of a high and tall place, bungee jumping, which coincidentally is a bucket list item for our club president, Toastmaster Thomas Njue. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, as we keep this definition at the back of our minds, let's now come back home and really demystify what extreme sports are within the Kenyan context. After all, charity begins at home. So picture this, rural Kenya, a lady heavily pregnant, walking miles under the scorching sun. One can even argue that it was a knitting of several suns. In that long trek, she sees wildlife, but she's unmoved, she doesn't flinch. She just drags along, wobbling like a duck, to the local level 3 hospital, as it's time to meet her unborn baby. Upon her arrival, doctors have gone on strike. Nurses are stretched too thin. But the time has come, so she has no choice but to deliver at the waiting bay. The only help in sight is really a fellow patient. It's a wonder the baby survives. A bouncing baby boy. Baby boy, welcome to Kenya. The life of extreme sports begins. High risk birth, under high stress, but it didn't end up in injury or death, thankfully. So the baby boy is now a toddler, happy-go-lucky, and it's time to go to school. This is usually determined by the age of the child or their ability to reach their ear by stretching the opposite hand over the head and touching the earlobe. I know if you can relate, then I know your age. They get to school and their teacher, as prescribed by the national curriculum, asks them to swim. Where? Clearly, there's no swimming pool. We're talking about a rural Kenya setting. They are asked to swim in the open field. The other assignment is to preach at a crusade at a stadium. But that stadium is incomplete. They're also, in their assignment, told to take photos while visiting a mall. Guys, a mall. Extreme sport, being a toddler in Kenya. In a few years, almost in his teens, the young boy, excited, joined secondary school away from home, a new environment for this young man. Desperate to excel in agriculture, he joins the agriculture club, where the patron asks them to tend to his personal garden and his livestock. It's a high risk because if you kill his livestock, you fail. High pressure because nobody told you that you would have two jobs, a high school student and a farmer. Extreme sports, being a teen in Kenya. 6 years later, accounting for the 2 years of complete lockdown due to a pandemic of unprecedented proportions, the young man starts out to college. Luckily or unluckily, he's allocated a room in a coveted and rather famous dorm. Famous for what, you ask me? Beats me. The room is 10 feet long, 10 feet wide, enough for 2 small beds. As he settles into the weekend after registration, a long week of running from one lecture hall to the other, the lecture halls that are nearly 2 kilometers apart, he is tired and he undergoes a ritual that is common in this famous dorm: exile. Campus exile. He's exiled by his roommate, who apparently has a standing date with his special friend. He's puzzled. He comes from the village. His closest relative is 16 kilometers away. He's tired. He doesn't have a friend in this new college. So he decides to walk around the premises, hoping to find a bench that he can rest his head on. Where, as we say in Nairobi, earth is hard. Fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, is being a naive first year in campus an extreme sport? Anyway, you can now get the drift. Look back at your own life. Has it been a series of extreme sports? Have you experienced high risk, high pressure, injured your body, or had your heart broken? As we walk along the road of life, we undergo emotional, physical, spiritual challenges. The path requires us to take risks, to hone our endurance, and to work on our resilience. By definition, this young man's life has so far been an extreme sport. Extreme sports, not just in the outdoor sense, push us to be better, stronger, and the best versions of ourselves. I have participated in an extreme sport today, delivery of this speech. High risk, high stress, well, not so near death, but it has definitely made me a better speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, participant.